Mark Stark. Okay, what successful agents do in time of crisis? Episode 7, Lucky 7, Las Vegas. Mark, take us away.
All right, I do have to say this. Some people have made comments regarding, truthfully, the distance between, Rick and myself, and there's a reason for that, is because we are committed to social distancing. Not a joke. That is why we are separated. So, just if you're wondering, that's the reason.
I was trying to take it personally. Though.
Exactly. Don't take it personally. All right, here's what we're going to do today. We have had different comments. We've brought up different aspects about social media and all this virtual things that we're doing. Today, I want to take that conversation to the next level. And I've entitled this, Social Media Innovative Ideas to Drive Business, Build Relationships, and Support the New Normal. All right, so let's jump right in. As always, this type of stuff starts off with the way we think. And I want you to tweak your thinking. I've heard comments really come both ways. There's two ways to think about this, the wrong way and the right way. And I hate to use wrong or right, but this is what I believe. The wrong way. You know, I'm doing some of these things today because we're dealing with the coronavirus, and I have to do some of these things. You know what? I want to tweak that thinking, and I want you to go with this thinking that, you know what? Due to the coronavirus, yes, there's some changes that I have now been willing to do. However, I'm thinking about how do I take all this new innovation, these great ideas, all these virtual things that I'm doing today that I didn't do yesterday, and incorporate that going forward into the new normal. So I want you to think about everything you're doing and how it will work for you in the future. And I want to share with you some powerful ideas that I've gotten from different sales executives that I just love what they're doing with their business. So let's jump right in. First of all, you're having these 15 to 30 minute meetings with realtors, sometimes the whole office, and you guys are grouping together and interacting and asking questions and learning together. I love it. But here's the question. How many of those 15 to 30 minute Zoom meetings, Google Hangout meetings are you having with the public? How many times, now separated from just with realtors, I'm talking about with your sphere, with past clients, with your neighborhood, your community. How many of those? And let's give you some ideas around this. How about parties? From happy hours to baking to book clubs to game nights and etc. Different ideas where now you are getting together virtually, but you're really focused on having something to do. How about a simple support group? We've talked about this before, is some people just being alone right now or not being able to really have their total freedom. Well, based on that, maybe they just need an ear, someone to have a conversation with. You know, we're talking to other realtors outside the organization that are thinking of moving over to Berkshire. You know what we've noticed? Those conversations are going longer and longer and longer. We had an example today that they spoke for an hour. You know what that tells me? Forget that they're a realtor, they're a human being and a person first. And they need interaction. And this is the way that we can interact through conversation. So I want you to think about it. Sometimes people just need to talk. They need to ask questions, and they need that type of interaction. Oh, one other aspect of that is, remember, stay factual, stay away from more opinions, and really go factual. And if you have to do some homework and get back to them, great opportunity. All types of trainings. It could be business type trainings that you already do, but it doesn't have to be. All types of trainings that you can bring in on a virtual basis. Projects that you've been wanting to do. A group of sales executives get together and want to do a project, and you all want to get it completed. You put a start date and an end date. We're starting on Monday, and by this Friday, all of us together are going to complete a project. Interesting show. I was watching National Geographic. True story. And I was watching about life in year 1 million. And what was interesting about it is one of the points that they were talking about is when people can communicate, well, and communicate together, efficiency and effectiveness go up. Well, if we're not communicating And in their example, they took language away. They changed everyone's language. And when you couldn't communicate, you weren't effective. You weren't efficient. You couldn't get things done. Well, think about this. Getting all this brain trust together and getting you all communicating, all of your efficiencies and effectiveness to go up. So for that project, you guys working together with all the different ideas coming together, you guys will all come out of that project more effective and more done. Again, we've talked about this, hyper-local market stats, listings and sales on a consistent basis, hyper-local, what's key about their world? And here's one, wants and needs, business and personal. Okay, the only advice I'd have with this, certainly on the business side, love wants and needs, but keep them maybe specific to area, maybe specific to price, maybe specific to a zip code that certain realtors work. Get together and talk about that area and interchange and again, get that brain trust going. But don't forget about personal wants and needs. Just reaching out to the community and talking to them and finding out what their wants and needs are. Yep. Hopefully 90+% of the conversation, if not 100%, will be zero business. Trust me, the business will come organically. But what a great opportunity just to talk, what do you need? What's your wants? And getting more people together. Doesn't always have to be one-on-one. This can be a group session, a neighborhood, a community. You're getting the community together and say, look, we all live in this community. What do we need? What do we want to see happen in our community? And how can we work together? Okay, like we never have before to really move our community forward. Thinking about for a second, for sale by owners, as Rick and I talked about last week, for sale by owners, expired listings, geo farms, Sphere, past clients. I've got you some rules of thumb that I want you to follow real quick. One, make sure to invite them all to every event you do. Don't worry about them saying no or not attending. See, the beautiful thing for you, the power's in the invite. If you continue to invite them to things that you're doing, these innovative ideas where you're getting community together, even if they don't join, let me tell you, you're sending a positive message of who you are, how you're helping the community, and how you care. All right, and I promise you, more will attend than you figure will. You'll be surprised. Virtual home tours. Okay, obviously, doing virtual home tours. Maybe you do that with a neighborhood, just like I'm talking about here. Here's one, evaluating photos. What do I mean by that? Well, pictures speak 1,000 words. So guess what? Something you can do, if let's say it's a for sale by owner, and I think we talked about this, evaluating those photos, well, you can do it for your neighborhood too. If someone's thinking about marketing their house or something, and they have pictures of their home, you know what, why don't you send it to me? Let me evaluate the pictures. Let me see the house. In that way, in that way, evaluating their photos. Next, just listed and just sold mailers. I want you to include everyone digitally and regular mailers on their just listed or on your just listed and just sold. Get the community, get everyone we're talking about involved in that same communication. And last but not least, and this is really important, is one of the projects I would advise all of you to work on is a pre-listing package. If you don't have a pre-listing package now, there is no better time to put it together. And what kind of package? It's a virtual pre-listing package. That is a living, breathing document that can be updated on an ongoing basis. And guess what? What a great project for all of you to get together and say, we're starting Monday, and by Friday, we're done with our virtual listing package that we can send out to anyone, anywhere. Rick, what do you think? Any comments?
I think that was all good stuff. Really, I'm trying to make mental notes, but first off, when you started with social media, you know, if there's ever been a time you want to create your own persona, now is a great time to do that. You know, the person that you want to project out there, be real, be authentic, because people can see through when you're, when you're faking it. So pick stuff that you're comfortable saying. Don't try to be somebody else. Okay, my little joke is, don't try to be somebody else. They're all taken. So just be yourself. All right. Secondly is, in your neighborhood, people think this is crazy when I say this, but a lot of times, like neighborhoods don't have a social media page. If you start one, like whatever the name of your subdivision is, or as a page for yourself, people will start calling you to post things on there too. So that's a great idea as well. And then I've been, the pre-listing package is one of my favorite things. I would definitely do that virtual. Guys, you have so many tools as Berkshire Hathaway. You know, especially with these times going on and a few companies having problems, they look at Berkshire Hathaway as solid, definitely financially sound, and a company you can trust and work with forever. Okay, so you know the more you don't even have to create anything; just use the tools. You know, my little joke is all you have to do is take your current picture, You know, if you can't use it at the DMV, don't use it for your marketing. All right, so that way you have. So it looks like you, and you're not like me. If I have a picture with hair, it's too old. Okay, so and then you add your current picture and your information to a lot of the stuff that we already have in the VAC, you know, that Maria and so forth and Paul, our marketing department, has created. You look good. Remember, you don't want to change everything too much because that's why you have a brand. It's already recognizable out there for you. So I think that was my little summation of what you.
All right, I appreciate it, Rick. Next Tuesday. And you know what? I might as well announce this now. Rick is teaching our success series, so you're stuck with me all alone, but I have a very fun announcement that I'm going to be making on a contest. So we'll talk more about that next Tuesday. But just wet your whistle right there. I do want you to know that through this new normal, this whole opportunity with Facebook Live is changing the way that I want to communicate in the future. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up, and I have a few to hit on today, is some feel-good stories. I wanted to give you some facts of what's going on throughout the organization. And please, and I'm speaking to all of you, please get with your leadership team. And if you have anything that you feel was so amazing or great news, and I really think it would be powerful to share with everyone, get it to your manager. They'll get it to us. And you know what? Can't read all of them, but I'd like to share a few with you today. We had a sales executive out of our Rancho Cucamonga office, just by going to our VAC and sending out to their past clients a communication that they hadn't done in a while, got a $1 million, they're talking about listing a $1 million house, and they want to buy a $2 million house. $3 million from doing something really simple. Using a tool, as Rick already mentioned, that they already had, and sent that out to people who already knew and trusted them. Another agent, Jennifer Beaton from our St. Rose office, all right, was making lots of positive posts. Very positive person. We talk about that. Well, one of the posts she did is, you know, she was cutting out hearts and she put it on her own house windows. Well, her neighbors saw that. All right, and she started to notice other neighbors were doing the same thing. So her neighborhood started to follow suit and putting up these hearts. Then she started to see it overall in social media. Guys, we're people first. Don't forget about that. I love that. Okay, bringing a community to focus on positives. That's brilliant. Beth Castro out of our Kierland office, real quick. You know what? They put a offer in for her clients out of Oregon. They didn't get the offer. The property ended up selling well over list price. Guess what? Those buyers did not follow through. So, love that other agent. Called Beth and said, hey, is your client still interested? She got that back in escrow. However, you know what? Based on all this happening, this was a little bit before the coronavirus really took hold. You know what? They put it back in. They got it in escrow for that same price above list. Guess what? Now this all happens. And her clients out of Oregon started getting a little bit nervous about what's going to be with the marketplace. So Beth went to Donna, her manager, and said, what should I do with this? Donna says, you know what? Have an honest, open conversation with the other agent. Tell them how they're feeling. They did that. Here's what they came up with by open, honest communication. You know what? How about this? We'll drop it back to list price, save you thousands of dollars, and all we want is close 10 days earlier. Everyone said, we're in. So now they're closing sooner than later and save their buyers thousands of dollars. Love that. Great job with open communication. Out of our Gilbert Mesa office in Arizona, you know what? Beth Butner, just, you know, this is a simple one, but it's powerful. Just within herself, she's saying, you know what, I've been in the business 20 years. I've been doing the same thing for so long, but guess what? I'm getting comfortable with the new normal, and I'm realizing I got the same job I have now. I just got to do it a little bit differently. I'm in, and I love that. Our North Scottsdale office, okay? Some sales executives apologize on this. Let me read this one through. Oh, yes. Okay. They got some business and they were wondering, should they list their property now or should they list it later with everything going on? Well, the agents used facts of record, not opinion, facts of record, and what they ended up doing is listing the property now, which happened on March 29th, and on April 1st, they got an all-cash offer that closes on April 27th. All right? Clients were thrilled and thanked them for telling us, helping us have the proper information so we felt comfortable to list the property now and not wait till after the fact. Look, these are happening every single day. What we focus on and what we think about is key. I'm going to keep these positives coming so you can see, oh my God, that's true. Those are great things happening, and that's what you want to focus on. All right? Rick, any additional?
I was talking to Billy this morning, who's going to be my interview next Tuesday morning, by the way, and he said that the first week there were a decent amount of cancellations, and then less, and then now there's very few people canceling their transactions. A few of them extended. So I think, it's starting to look like there's positive signs. The stock market, the Dow, everything is starting to get better, and I think people are getting more confident. So I think that we're going to see some good stuff, and there's still business being done today.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And I think, listen, the Fed is showing, the government's showing, everyone's putting all forward so we get out of this as soon as possible. Whenever that is, by the way, it doesn't matter. We're going to have a positive attitude through the process.
Right.
What questions do we have, if any?
Any questions?
I know we covered a lot of information today. Rick, I apologize. I kind of manipulated today. I didn't.
That's cool. You had good stuff to say.
All right.
I would have interrupted you if you got boring or something.
Okay. You can't kick me, but you can interrupt me.
I can't reach you.
Exactly.
Because he's
Good
6
point.
feet away.
That's exactly
We
right.
measure.
I'm 6 feet away. And it should seem like 6 feet away.
This is a comment from Joe Petrowski. They are a human being and a person first. Great message. So much business will come from realtors showing how much they care.
Amen. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Love it.
That's a great one.
Another one from Susie Chicani, my apologies. Organize a Zoom meeting with future buyers and your preferred lender to stay connected with buyers.
Yeah, you can even do a buyer's seminar.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Think about how many of your clients that you're working with and or past clients or just Sphere would love to learn just how the mortgage business works, just general questions where they're not under the gun signing paperwork. They just able to relax and ask questions. I love that.
Kathy Denton says, great stuff. Don't forget to put that ORHP brochure in the pre-listing package for sellers coverage. VHHS agents, we are here for you. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy out there.
Woohoo!
Nice. Yeah, the great thing about the VAC is that you can customize that pre-listing package too. You can't put the whole thing in there, but you can put whatever you are comfortable using and conversing about.
Okay. Well, the beautiful thing is that not only do you have phenomenal tools, but as you all know, we are moving forward very vigorously with all our upgrades for VAC 2.0. Everything is on schedule and it will stay on schedule. So have a great rest of week, everybody, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Or at least I will. Bye-bye.
Yeah.